Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. First off, thank you all so much for 7,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd ever hit that. And also huge shout out to Dak for giving me the Esper artifact for this video. Anyways, today I'm doing the next magic overview for Legends ReWritten, and we are going to be covering the Esper artifact. So this artifact, of course, we're going to start off with where to find it. And while we're going to where to find it, this is its dash. Alright, let me get actually up in the air there. As you can see, you hit Q and you kind of just float around. I'll be honest, it's not the best dash ability in the game. I really wouldn't use this for its dash. I would only use it for its actual damage. Anyways, the way you get this artifact is by defeating the golem boss up here. It is a pretty rare drop. I actually wasn't able to get it myself for a while. That is why Dak was kind enough to give me one. Anyways, let's go over what all of the moves do. So at level 1, you unlock the move Psychic. Psychic is by far the worst move of the 4, but it is the level 1 move, so of course that makes sense. Essentially what happens is this purpley vortex type attack spawns in on the enemy where your cursor is, and it does okay damage and has an okay cooldown. It really isn't the best move. Its animation does look pretty nice, but I really wouldn't see you using this move if you're using this magic type very much. I would say maybe at level 1 you can make it useful, but in reality I don't think you're going to be using Esper if your magic level is only level 1, considering you had to farm a level 60 something boss to get it. Anyways, we're going to quickly move on to the second move, which you unlock at level 19, and this is known as Meteor Strike. Meteor Strike is a fantastic DPS move. So 3 rocks or meteors, whatever you want to call them, spawn in behind you, and then you throw them at the enemy. And this does a fantastic amount of damage. It makes quick work of every mob in the game. It is great for long range bosses. The only downside and tricky part about it is it can be a little tricky to aim since you're only firing 3 projectiles. Unlike the Gates of Babylon from Hero, which spams projectiles, it is a little bit harder to hit your target because there is less leniency because you're firing off less attacks. But since you're firing off less attacks, all the attacks that do hit do a lot more. And there really isn't very many complaints about this move. The animation is great, it sounds great, you get it at a low level of 19. The only downside is it can be a little hard to use and sometimes you can miss with it. But besides that, I do think this is a fantastic DPS move and a great addition to the game. So your next move you get at level 39, and this is known as Gravity. Gravity is an amazing DPS move. So it reminds me a bit of the, I forgot what it's called, I think it's Spears of Destruction, something like that from Hero, to where you just point your cursor at the enemy and then an attack spawns in where your cursor is. Gravity works just like that. So basically you suck the enemy down with all these purple particles and it does a bunch of damage and they get stun locked for a couple of seconds, and it really has not a bad cooldown at all. I think Gravity is one of the best DPS moves in the game at the moment. It is fantastic, it looks fantastic, it makes quick work of any boss, it makes quick work of any mob, and you can use it at a very far range, and it is very hard to miss your target with this move, which is why I think it's very good as well. If you are using the magic type Esper, you have to use Gravity. It is just such an amazing move. So the final move of Gravity for level 51 is known as Gravity Explosion, and this is again an amazing move. So where your cursor is spawns in this purple vortex cube of death essentially that does 2 ticks of massive damage, and it has a reasonable cooldown. I think this is again one of the best DPS moves in the game. It just does so much damage and its cooldown really isn't that bad. Also, I might be a little biased because purple is my favorite color. I think it's one of the best animated moves in the whole game as well because nothing else like forms this cube looking attack. I love it. I think overall this magic type's amazing, and the last 3 moves make it one of the best DPS ones in the game and definitely something you should go after. So if you're going to be using only moves from this magic type, you're going to of course use Meteor Strike, Gravity, and Gravity Explosion. These 3 moves together really put in the work. You don't even need to use attacks from other magic types to do a lot of DPS. You can really make this thing work, especially because you can stun the enemy with Gravity, and then continuously stun them with Gravity Explosion, and then make sure you fire off your Meteor Strike in between the 2 gravities. That way you hit your target because they're stun locked. Again, this magic type is just so well done. I love the animations, and I think it's a really good addition. And I really like the magic types that drop from mini bosses found around the map, so you just have a constant way to farm them. And I know it is a little bit harder to get than a magic type that would just spawn in during a random season in a random location, but since it is harder to get, that is why it is so much better. And it's great against bosses like Broly because you can stunlock him for a little bit. It's great against the dragons because they're so big, it is hard to miss them with Meteor Strike. It makes quick work of every single mob in the game, and overall I think this is an amazing move. So this magic type also of course would combo great with anything that needs an enemy to be still, like Spirit Shotgun from Spirit. You could really combo that well with Gravity and Gravity Explosion, and overall I really don't have very many complaints about this magic type. I think it's amazing and I think everybody should go after it. Anyways guys, that is my overview on the magic type Esper. Thanks again for 7k subs. Comment down below what other Legends Rewritten videos you want to see from me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!